race fans, and welcome back to the SRAM Downhill Southeast Series. We're here in Oliver Springs, Tennessee at Windrock Bike Park for round number 3 of our 2023 season. This year marks the 8th season that Downhill Southeast has been racing, and also the 8th season we've been right here at Windrock Bike Park. This is the only venue we've been to each of our 8 seasons. Last year's race here at Windrock, Aaron Gwynn came out to his first Downhill Southeast and he took the win with an incredible run on a relatively similar track. And speaking of Aaron Gwynn, he was up to pace at our last round at Ride Rock Creek, but it wasn't quite enough to take the win. Asa Vermette was on fire. He backed up his first place seating with a win by over 2 seconds. Rounding out the podium looked like a group of World Cup regulars, and on the women's side, it was Miranda Miller, the 2017 Downhill World Champion, taking the win at Ride Rock Creek with a great run. She also gave out some killer prizes from SRAM and RockShox to our top amateur racers. A smooth and confident run from Riley Miller out of Vermont put her in second place, with Majo Montoya rounding out the podium in third. By now, we all know that Asa Vermette is one of the fastest men on a downhill bike in the United States. But where is he from? And where is he going? Well, we sat down with him and put him on the Downhill Southeast hot seat to learn all about this young U.S. downhill shredder. Asa, we're so happy to have you here. How are you doing?
Good. I'm stoked to be here. The weather is so nice out. I'm so stoked that the rain didn't come.
Yeah, me too. This place can be pretty wild when it gets wet, and it's often wet. But as you've seen in your practice laps, the dry conditions at Windrock are kind of treacherous too.
Yeah, I'm used to riding it, like super dusty conditions, always how it is in Durango.
Well, tell us about yourself.
I'm 16, I live in Durango, Colorado. I just grew up riding around town and like with a bunch of friends. I mostly rode with my parents, honestly. They brought me to Perg a bunch whenever they couldn't ride Perg, we have to work.
Well, outside of your local crew that you ride with in Durango, who are some riders kind of out there on the world stage that you look up to and that you kind of model your riding after?
I dirt bike a bunch, and I look up to like Eli Tomac lives like 20 minutes away from me. I ride with my dad moto a bunch, but I like the guys that are just like raw rippers. Like,
well, you've got a pretty big year lined up. You've already been racing some Downhill Southeast. What are your plans for the rest of the year?
So we'll go back to Durango after this race Monday and probably dirt bike, ride some enduro bikes. The snow's finally clearing out to ride. We're gonna go to Mountain Creek and snowshoe, and then we're going to Austria for 2 weeks for Innsbruck, Crankworks Innsbruck, and just riding there. It's gonna be crazy to be there, watch the second World Cup.
So you've got the trip lined up to Austria. You'll be at the Snowshoe World Cup, doing your thing, hanging out, checking out the scene. What race are you most looking forward to racing later this year that you've got on the calendar?
Probably US Open. I loved that race last year. It was like the first race I actually got to race pro in and did pretty well. And this whole scene there is so sweet. There's a whole bunch of pros, you're riding with them all. The track's super fun. Jumps at the bottom, I don't know. I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
What is it like when you get to hop in with the pros? I mean, with you being a younger guy.
When US Open was crazy, I was so nervous to race against all those guys because I had no idea what was going to happen. Yeah, they're all super nice.
Are you feeling pretty good at Windrock though? You've ridden here quite a few times now.
Every time I've been here, I don't know, I kind of messed up my run. Like Nationals I crashed, and Nationals before that I crashed. Hopefully I can turn around for this one. Ride Rock I felt really good. But here I don't know what it is. I like push myself. It's always been muddy for the races, so it's definitely been more my type of style for this like practice. Like sliding around in the dust and stuff has been fun.
Well, it's shaping up to be an amazing race this weekend here at Windrock. Can't wait to see you on your race run. Hope you have a good one.
Thanks so much.
We've got the Hawgen Boss himself, Sean Leader from Windrock Bike Park, to talk us through this Downhill Southeast racetrack. Well, Sean, we're just a few minutes away from getting racers on track here for round number 3 of the SRAM Downhill Southeast Series at Windrock Bike Park. It looks like a great one we have put together.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We're back here again. It's just been a few weeks off, and we're racing again.
Well, let's talk about this track. There's 3 distinct sectors. From the top to split one, you got some of that classic starting sections from the tracks here at Windrock and the Snake Rock Rock Garden.
Yeah, absolutely historic rock garden. It's been the same for 30 years now. So I mean, that's just an iconic piece of Windrock that we couldn't not have in the track. Yeah, so Sector 1 is rough.
How are people riding that rock garden now compared to 5 years ago? Has it changed?
It's changed a little bit. The entrance gives you a little bit more speed, so you can carry a ton of speed through it, and you'll see it in the good riders. They'll move through it fast.
Well, once they get out of that rock garden, they'll hit split number 1 and then dive into that middle sector, which has some really unique elements based on the raw terrain here at Windrock.
Yeah, Sector 2 is a newer section, Caveman, and it has the biggest compressions on the mountain, so it's really hard to hold on after those big forces. It's not got a lot of line choice, but it's really just who can hang on the most.
And hopefully you've hung on, made it to split number 2. This bottom split features the new Red Bull Ravine at the bottom, or should I say Redneck Ravine. These jumps are legit.
Yeah, very cool jumps. Yeah, we're excited about those. I mean, it's just something different. Everybody wants new jumps, so we worked hard to get those in before the Tennessee National, and now they're dried up and running fast, and you got to work to squash them hard enough if you're going really fast, but it's cool to see like pretty much everyone clearing them.
Yes, it is. And bonus points if you hit the big cannon. That's, it's my book.
Yeah, I'm hitting it.
Awesome, Sean. Well, let's go check out the racing.
Appreciate it.
Well, it's race day here at Windrock Bike Park for round 3 of the SRAM Downhill Southeast. It's a little moody out. We're under dark skies this morning, but no precipitation overnight. It doesn't look like we're going to have any rain for racing. So this track is blown up, dry, dusty, and ready for some fast runs. This is our pro women's seeding results. Shell Peugeot will be the last rider on the hill with a 304.94 in seeding yesterday. Xana Logar seeded second with Abby Ronca third, Majo Montoya fourth, and Amelia Capuano fifth. Where's Majo Montoya? Living in Georgia now, but she is from Honduras, 23 years old. This is our current run on the hot seat. You can see Majo pushing real hard up top. Conditions have continued to get drier and drier throughout the weekend. A little bit of a unique weekend here at Windrock. This is that Cave Boy section in Sector 2 that Sean and I were reviewing as Majo continues her way down the track, making her way towards the Redneck Ravine. Majo sending it pretty deep there off that shark fin. We're going to see a lot of action in here today. And Majo wasting no time going off the cannon log. Sean Leader's going to give her some cred for that. She'll break the beam. It's a 3:12 to start us off for Montoya. And here is Abby Ronca. She had a 3:11.7 in seeding. She's from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and she's our 2022 series champ. Had a great ride last year in our series and took a win at the final round at Beach Mountain. So looking to build upon that in this year's series. She's riding for the Gravity Academy. We'll see plenty more of the Gravity Academy today on the show. Ronca working her way down to this upper Snake Rock Rock Garden. Going to be one of the most crucial sections in the race today. Smooth line right there. Round the outside. Didn't really get caught up, and that's what you want to avoid in there. So split one for Abby Ronca as she dives down into Caveman. 45.6, so she's up on Montoya, but only by a half second. Yeah, Majo dropped quite a bit of time off her seeding run, and you can see that she went faster than Abby did yesterday, so Ronca's going to have to step it up in this finals run. Great pace around that right-hander. Split number 2. Oh, she's lost time. Wow, must have been somewhere off screen because that is a huge chunk of time. 7.82 seconds gone by for Abby Ronca. Whoa, getting a little wild, dropping into the ravine. Oh, yeah, you can see dirt all over her jersey. Must have been a huge one.
perfect to the transition on these final two.
Well, Ronka across the finish line here. It's not going to be a podium run. 16 seconds back. It's a 3:28.5 for Abby Ronka. Hope to see Abby come back swinging. Here's her teammate, Xana Logar from Davis, West Virginia. It was a 3:09.59 in seating. And you'll notice that Xana is on this brand new Common Sol downhill bike. If you've watched the show before, you'll know she's been on a single crown bike and had some great podium performances aboard that rig, but I'm sure she's excited to have this new downhill bike. Look at the double. A very committed move right off the bat, so Xana feeling it here for her race run on Sunday. Logar lining up this rock garden, getting a couple wheels off the ground, able to double over some of those square edge hits. And diving off this super steep dirt roll-in, taking you into Cave Boy. See what split one has done for Logar. Oh, and she's up by 0.58. So it's a half second up for Xana Logar. This middle section can be extremely tricky. We saw that it took Abby Ronka out. So steep and technical. It's all about setting up for those corners. Good exit speed right there for Xana. Now she's really going to be able to open it up here towards the bottom of this course, and she's extended in split two. 1.86 into the green for Xana. So now it's just the redneck ravine to go. Logar sending it in, a little bit of a rough landing, but over that second jump pretty good. A really tough section to tackle at the very end of your run. Super tired. She's opting to go around the cannon, and let's see, Xana across the line is 4 seconds into the green. A 3:08.27. So 4 seconds off the fastest time in seating from Shell Peugeot, but still a great run as we go to Shell. She's out of Quebec as a 3:04.94 for the Propane Cycles rider. Let's see what Shell can do here on finals day. She's yet to capture a win in this young 2023 season. She holds herself to an extremely high standard, this being her home trails. I know she wants to let loose and put one down in front of the home fans today. Oh, Shell setting up very nicely, very wide on that second turn, that left-hander of the back-to-back berms. And she's through the rocks. That's really just what you want to get through as a racer at the top of the course. You can breathe easy after that and take a deep breath before you dive into these steeps of Caveman. When she's back at split one, but very much in touch. It's just 0.18. We saw Logar had a great top split. I think this is where we're really going to see Shell excel. She loves it when it gets steep and technical. Carrying great pace around that left-hander. Didn't get stood up at all. Peugeot with nice exit speed on that right-hander. What's she done on the clock? Oh, she's extended. It's a huge lead now. Over 4.5 seconds for Shell. So this is surely going to be a winning run today from Peugeot at Downhill Southeast. We know she's been ripping this bottom section, doing laps with the boys and girls at Windrock Bike Park. So will this be Shell's first win of the 2023 season? It'll be a nice boost for her campaign. It was 4.5 seconds at split two, and at the finish line, she's extended even more. 7.39 into the green at 3 minutes flat for Shell Peugeot. And she's just heard the news. Shell is stoked. What a run from her today at her home mountain here at Windrock Bike Park.
Congratulations to Shell Peugeot, who's going to walk away after that winner here.
Great to see Shell back to her ripping best here and soaking up the top step of the podium. Xana Logar with a great ride in second, and Maho Montoya with her second Downhill Southeast podium in a row in third.
It's been really sick this season to see the younger girls go so fast. They're so talented. It's really fun to race. Like, everybody's got to be on their A game, so it really pushed me to work a lot harder between rounds and like focus on skills and basic stuff, come back more prepared, and it's worked, so I'm pretty stoked. Yeah, I've been putting a lot of laps in the last month, honestly, especially since Rock Creek. I've been having so much fun on my bike and with the guys, and it's paid off, so I'm pretty stoked to keep doing some of that too.
And now it's time for our pro men's final. You can see Chris Grice was on top of seeding yesterday with a 227.73. Austin Dooley right there in touch in second with a 229.4, and Jack Peterson with a great ride here at Windrock seating. 233.46 puts him within striking distance of the podium for finals today. Titus Nicholson, Jordan Bolden sitting there in fourth and fifth with almost identical runs. There's Asa Vermette lurking back there in sixth place, our winner from the last round. Well, kicking off our pro men's race today, it's a treat. We've got Richie Rude. Two-time EWS champ, came here to throw down at Windrock, came in early this morning, and he's immediately up to pace. Oh yeah, look at Richie floating over the rocks. He came in, got his required 3 practice runs this morning so he could take the start line for finals. Yeah, this is going to be a track he can really let loose on. It's nice and tight, really got some great steeps. Just another fun day on the bike for Richie Rude here at Windrock. Grab a casual race run in, maybe scrub some jumps in the Redneck Ravine. He's on a Yeti downhill bike. Don't really know much about that ride, but it's looking fast to me. And it's a 2:29. What? That would have been the third fastest time in seating yesterday. So Rude wasting no time getting up to pace. As we look to our current hot seat rider before we get to 8 to go, and it's Aaron Gwynn for Intense Factory Racing. Gwynn spending a lot of time riding here at Windrock, and you can tell just looked extremely comfortable through that tight rock garden and sends that compression to flat. Inside to inside on the berms. Wow, this is a treat. The riding from Gwynn is on the edge. I have a feeling we're seeing Gwynn getting back to his very best, just testing the edges of traction here at Windrock. It's going to go around that cannon. It'll be interesting to see what everybody does throughout this pro men's field. So Gwynn's going to break the beam, and it's a 226.13. Incredible. 1.5 seconds up on our fastest seating time from Chris Grice yesterday. Wow. So the gauntlet's been thrown down, and here is our top 8 to challenge that time of Aaron Gwynn. Ronnie Vance out of Estmont, Virginia, came in with a 241.98. He had a couple top 5s last year in 2022 at Massanutten and Snowshoe. I know he's a new dad, so should be getting right back up to pace now this year. Top section of track really lets you kind of get your bearings before you dive into this crucial rock garden. Oh, nice double line there from Ronnie. And he's back. It's just 3.2. That's a nice place to be when the current hot seat rider is a 5-time World Cup overall champ. Oh, and I'm loving these shots. You can really see how steep the sections are leading into those turns. Oh, his head slapper from Ronnie's into a sapling. Sapling didn't stand a chance, though, from that right shoulder. Glad to see the trees okay, because Ronnie is trucking on here. See what the next split says. Yeah, I definitely lost some time with the little battle with the sapling. He's 8.5 back. We'll see if Ronnie can put together his best result on this young season here in Downhill Southeast. Has not had really the results he's wanted. Just earned a couple points at the first 2 rounds. But we have seen Ronnie up in the top 5 before, and that's where he belongs.
Here comes Ronnie Vance.
So Vance running for Bryce Bike Park, taking it through the finish line. It'll be a 240.12. So actually went faster than his seating time. Of course, definitely running well today. We'll see what the rest of the riders have for that time of Gwin as Colton Hubbard is up, the young 16-year-old. He's riding for Frameworks Racing in Mountain Creek. Of course, if you're riding for Mountain Creek, you're going to be from New Jersey, so this is kind of a warm-up for Hubbard before we head to his home turf in the next round. Different line there from Colton, staying low. That's looking good. Extremely. No, Hubbard losing it there in the left-hander. Sometimes that's tough on a racer's psyche, but he's only 16 years old. He doesn't even think. He just rides at this point. It's a great thing about being so young in a sport like downhill. So, yeah, he's definitely lost some time. 5.24 back to Aaron Gwin. But we know he's been on pace this weekend. Can still salvage a good result. Able to be pretty smooth through that compression that we saw take Ronnie Vance off course just a bit. Hubbard was first at Mountain Creek on our downhill race at Mountain Creek last year. That was in the junior category. Now he's stepped up to pro, although he's only 16 years of age. Piloting that Frameworks rig, helping Nico do some testing to continue to develop that bike while he is out recovering from the hip injury suffered here at the Tennessee National. Well, Hubbard obviously not having the run he wants. Looks like it might even be a low rear tire. Yeah, that rear tire's barely got any air on it. That's a smart move for Colton to shut that down. Too dangerous to try to rip with low air these days, and that'll put him back into 17th place, 247.5. Well, here is Asa Vermette. We've been waiting for this run. 239 in seating, and I talked to him afterwards. He said, it was just an out-of-sorts run. It really wasn't the kind of riding that he likes to do, so he's fired up for finals today.
It's probably possible.
Oh, my goodness. He gaps the trail from the inside line. Having to go in hard on the brakes to make that next section. He's looking to be in a good place today on that Frameworks rig. So split number one. Oh, he's right in touch with Gwin. It's just a half second back for young Vermette. Yeah, and once he's feeling good and getting up to pace, there's really nothing that can stop this guy. We saw him take the win at last round, so his confidence is extremely high. And Asa is just charging here on the pedals. Split number two. Oh, and he's up. 0.53. No! Oh, Vermette was up and just threw it away. That was a huge one. Just got off rhythm. It's a rock garden before another big boulder you've got to go over. But wow, he's already up on the bike. He's already halfway to the Redneck Ravine. So Vermette acting like nothing even happened there. He was up on Gwin at that split. I mean, surely he's lost some time, but I didn't see that much.
Such a fun guy to watch.
Well, Asa's going to power down to the line. He was fine after that huge get-off. And it's a 2:28. Are you kidding me? 2.67 back on Aaron Gwin. That time would have been good enough for second yesterday in seating.
I went over the bar.
he can't believe it either. Wow, what a ride there from Vermette as we move on to Jordan Bolden, the coach from the Gravity Academy. Qualified with a 238.86. Definitely got some time to make up, but this is a man that knows every corner of this track. He's dissected it with all his riders at the Gravity Academy, and now it's his turn to let loose.
Yeah, Jordan.
Bolden on that upper line. Not sure if there's much in it there. That upper versus lower line. We'll have to see what our top qualifiers end up doing. Oh, Bolden just trying to hold on, getting into the Snake Rock Rock Garden. Was a little bit out of sorts, but managed to make it work. And you can tell he's on the edge. All right, so he's just 2.7 seconds back on Aaron Gwin. With some other riders making mistakes, I mean, the door's wide open for Bolden to bring home a great result here. Handles that section nicely as Bolden continues to press on. Yeah, a little bit on the edge right there. Took the inside foot out for safety. Back on the pedals quickly. And, well, he's 7.83 back. So a good ways back on Gwynn, but this is Aaron Gwynn we're talking about. So it's been a little bit of a messy run for Bolden, but he's been able to hold it together. Let's see what Jordan's got down here in the Redneck Ravine. It looks like a straightforward jump section, but it can be extremely dicey when you get up to race pace. Basically goes to flat off that roller. He was 7.8 back at the second split, and he'll end up 11 seconds off the pace of Aaron Gwynn at 2:37, so he's dropped just about a second from that seating time. Yeah, you can tell he was really pushing today, and a man that is certainly going to be pushing is this guy, Titus Nicholson, riding for Defiant Racing. Qualified with a 2:38. He does a ton of riding with Jordan up here, and he is back in the start gate. I know he is so fired up. Oh, you can see it in the first turn, dabbed already. So Titus will hold nothing back today. That's the beauty of downhill racing. You get one run to throw it all on the table. He's been working so hard to get back on the bike and working it through that rock garden. Split one. Oh, he's 3.3 back, so maybe a little bit messier than he would have liked up top. Oh, continuing to ride that bull on down Cave Boy. Went to flat into that G-out. I'd expect nothing less from Titus. Oh, and the nice inside line. That's a similar line we saw to Gwynn. I don't know if he hung on to that on the left-hand turn there. That was, at a minimum, he burped a tire. Might have broken a derailleur. Huge G-forces, so he's 7.82 back now. Oh, and a great little hit line. Oh, Titus, hang on to it, brother. Well, Nicholson was going to come out swinging today, and he's certainly thrown some punches at this course at Windrock. He's dodged a few blows as well. Could have had a big moment on some of that. Love to see what Titus does down here through the jumps. As Nicholson wraps up this run, he's still going to be pushing, and he pushes it. Oh my goodness, able to bring it back. Nicholson just about went straight into the arch there. He can't believe it. He's looking down. Whatever mechanical issues he has going on, and he's taking a seat. He's got to take a seat after that one. What a run from Nicholson. He's back, folks. Titus is back in Downhill Southeast. We're here in the finish corral with our hot seat rider, Aaron Gwynn. Aaron, you came down early in the order today, and your time was a 2:26, faster than Grice Crispy's seating time from yesterday. Do you think that's going to hold up?
I would like to say yeah, but I think if Chris throws one down, I think there's a few more seconds in the track. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I struggled to kind of find the balance today. I think I was pushing a bit much yesterday and not enough today, so I was making mistakes trying to go slower. And yeah, it was a bit of a frustrating run, but it was good to get down. The track was definitely slick, so it was, like I said, it was hard not to push too hard and make mistakes.
Nice. Well, tell us a little bit about how it changed from yesterday, because we've seen times coming down from everybody else. You think there's some time out there?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a couple turns that are a little slicker than yesterday, and I'd say overall, like, just getting a little looser, but I think it's still pretty good. I'd say it's pretty similar to tomorrow, or till yesterday, but I think just being race fun, you always find a way to kind of up your game and go a little bit faster. So I'd say the track is maybe a little worse, but I think you still can go a little faster.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron. Let's go back to the top and see our final three racers. Well, Jack Peterson is up next. Jack seated in third at 2:33.46. He's ready to let loose and have a good time on this run. Came back from a big slam at the Tennessee National. Ended up having a bit of a wrist injury, but looks to be completely back up to pace. Peterson was third at round one at the Trials Training Center, so no stranger to the Downhill Southeast podium. Oh, and I love the line right there, transferring back and forth from right to left in that rock garden. It's a great top section for Peterson. 1.46 off the pace of Aaron Gwynn. These are the moments that Jack Peterson lives for, an opportunity to put his skills to the test against some of the best in the world. Oh, Peterson able to hang on to it right there. Got a little out of rhythm. But moments like that, that's downhill racing. An experienced guy like Jack Peterson's not going to let that rattle him, and he's just lost just a little bit more time, so it's 4.24. Oh, Peterson almost on the edge of the track right there. Able to save it, but might have cost him a couple tenths. So Peterson going to catch his breath before he dives into the Red Bull Ravine deep there off the shark fin, carrying good pace. I mean, you got to have nerves of steel to keep those fingers off the brakes. Oh, and he's straight off the cannon. I like that move from Peterson. No reason to mess about and go around it. He went straight over the cannon. It's a 2:32. So Peterson going to drop a second from his time yesterday. 6 seconds back on Aaron Gwin. With 2 more riders to go, and here's Austin Dooley out of Yucaipa, California. Qualified with a 2:29.4. He'll be at all the World Cups this year. He was already in Europe at the Portugal Cup in February. Took 7th place there, and a super strong international field. Turned pro just in 2021, but has had great success thus far. Part of a big crop of U.S. downhill pros that are making a splash on the World Cup circuit. Oh, super tidy through there. Don't think he missed his line by an inch. That was perfect from Dooley, and he's up. He is green by 0.11, so right there on pace with Aaron Gwin. Oh, and Dooley's accelerating as things get steep here on Cave Boy. Nice and tidy through there. We saw Gwin really hugging the inside in between those turns. Dooley keeping it smooth there. Oh, but he has got some power to throw down on that section. Split number 2. Oh, and he's right there. He's still green. Nothing in it. 0.18 up on Aaron Gwin. This is Austin Dooley riding at his best. 5th at the Tennessee National right here in Windrock. But he is trying to break out and make a name for himself in the American scene. With split times like that, you're sure to make everyone take notice as Dooley come down to the final jump. What's it going to be for Austin Dooley? Can he put any more time into Gwin? Dooley crosses the line, and it's green by 0.86. It's a 2:25.27 for Austin Dooley. The young pro just threw it down here today. Wow. 2 seconds faster than that seating time we saw from this man yesterday. Chris Grice from Hendersonville, North Carolina, put down that 2:27.73, riding for Generation Specialized. This is a guy we've seen grow up right here at Windrock before our eyes. He just turned pro in 2022.
Yeah, Chris Big.
Oh, Chris, straight into it. Brilliant line up there. This top section, you got to be super precise. We saw Gwin and Dooley with nearly perfect runs through this rock garden. Oh, and the same thing for Grice. That is looking good. Oh my gosh, he's up by almost a second. It's 0.86 into the green for Grice Crispy. Oh, and you know he's going to let it eat on these steeps. Grice looking like he's on one right here. He's on the pedals. Split number 2. Oh, and he's lost time. He is back by 1.1. Still on rails through those corners. So what can Chris do to make that up? 1 second on Austin Dooley, but surely he's in for a top 5 at least, maybe higher up on the podium today. So just a couple jumps between Grice and the finish line. It was red by 1 second at split number 2. What will it be at the finish line as he goes huge on that final table? Grice crosses the line. Oh my God, right there with Dooley. Just a 10th off the win. Chris Grice into 2nd place with a 2:25. Yeah, I know he's going to be a little bit disappointed with that, but man, you can't take anything away from that run. That was an incredible run by Grice as he and Dooley dap it up. Asa Vermette in there as well. What a race from these guys. And that is your Pro Men's Podium here at round number 3 of the SRAM Downhill Southeast at Windrock Bike Park. Austin Dooley putting his stamp on the race, top step of the podium, and loving every second of it. Chris Grice in second place. Hey, you can't be disappointed with that day's work. And Aaron Gwynn rounding out our podium in third.
Downhill Southeast is stacked nowadays. We had Crispy, Gwynny, Richie, Asa. So the series is growing, and I think it's really good for preseason racing. I think it's a good start to the year, so I think that's why everyone's out here, and it's to see everyone. After Rock Creek, me and Ryan Pinkerton decided to come here for 10 days. I was like, I'll stay for the Downhill Southeast at Windrock once I heard all these boys were coming. I extended it a few more days, and stoked I did. Unfortunately, this is my last Downhill Southeast of the year. Heading over to Europe in like 10 days to get started with the World Cup Series, so stoked to see it growing, and super excited to do some more next year for sure.
What an amazing day of racing here at Windrock Bike Park. The course held together, and Austin Dooley and Shell Peugeot threw it down for the wins. Thank you so much to all of our volunteers, the staff, and the medical support team here at Windrock that made this round so successful. We'll see you at round number 4, and until then, keep shredding your bike. And the Downhill Southeast season rolls on to round number 4 in New Jersey at Mountain Creek Bike Park Memorial Day weekend. May 26th through 28th. This is a combined race with the Spring National at Mountain Creek Bike Park, so we hope to see you out there to get a piece of the action. And then we roll into Snowshoe Mountain, June 9th through 11th in Snowshoe, West Virginia. It's almost heaven, but it wouldn't be heaven without you, so make sure to get registered. Registration open now at downhillsoutheast.com.